present the facts today as regards subsidy removal.
Kesire Aqua.
Report was that $9 billion is lost yearly to illegal mining.
And Simeon Sunday.
If you know something of this nature is happening within your community, why didn't you raise an alarm?
On the Front Page Review, weekdays at 7:15 a.m. Now you have a voice. The world's biggest business stories, stock market updates, forex, aviation reports, and market updates, all in one place. Business Today, only on VOP 96.1 FM. Weekdays by 9:15 a.m. Don't miss it. The Week in Review, a recap of all the big headlines and stories of the week. Saturdays at 8 a.m. only on VOP 96.1 FM. Now you have a voice.
Bye there.
Inakwana.
Good morning.
Ilahiala.
Ekaro.
Obohia.
Good morning.
Mewo.
Edio. Tutuama. Keideo.
Good morning. Rise and shine. This is the morning ride. We have got an action-packed day ahead with headlines, sports, business, great conversation. Start your day right with VOP's morning ride. Weekdays from 5 a.m. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning to you and welcome to Front Page Review right here on Voice of the People 96.1 FM. Of course, we start the segment with something called Who Says What. Of course, we check some of the trending audio, maybe video or whatever, from some prominent individuals in the government, in the country, and in the world at large. As far as it's a trending story and it's got an audio, then we'll definitely be talking about it. Over the course of the weekend, we saw the Minister of Health, Ali Pate, talking about the brain drain in Nigeria, especially in the doctors, in the medical, sector. We also checked out him talking about a malaria vaccination. We get to hear what he had to say about that.
It's a great success that the scientific community has developed an effective, safe vaccine for malaria, and Nigeria has approved the first of those malaria vaccines through NAFDAC. But let's put it in context. There are about 1 million deaths of children under 5 every year in this country, 70% of which is preventable from vaccine-preventable disease like diphtheria, like measles, pneumonia, and other vaccines that are available already, freely, very cost-effective. In many parts of our country, the primary healthcare system is still struggling to increase the uptake of those very cost-effective vaccines. And we're revamping the infrastructure to be able to do that. So with a new tool that will come online in terms of malaria vaccine, there are also other interventions that are related to malaria. Simple. Seasonal chemoprophylaxis, which prevents children from getting malaria. Having effective bed nets that people use that is cost-effective in preventing the disease. Treatment itself, the case management of malaria through the primary healthcare system is also an important element in it. And the vaccine then is added on a layer of that. To introduce vaccine, it's not only the regulatory side, which we have cleared that hurdle, there's also the public financing, because it's not a cheap vaccine.
Also, when asked when this particular vaccine will come into fruition in Nigeria here, when will it be available, this is what he had
They don't have it. I'm going to get into it.
I think we should expect it to be in the Nigerian market by the summer, fall this year. The public financing obviously will take some time to organize, and the infrastructure and the training so that we do it right. We just introduced HPV vaccine. We've just done first phase states before coming to the second phase in May, for instance. So you have to look at this and synchronize them. There's no point just ticking the box and then falling flat on your face. That's not us. I think the real hope is it's not a tactical step. It's a strategic direction.
So what Nigerians should see with Ali Party?
All right, so that was the voice of the Minister of Health. And when asked about the brain drain, especially in the medical sector, this is what he had to say about it.
Ensuring the quality of those who are trained, that in fact they are well trained. And that is something that we're very proud as Nigeria, because the health workers that we have are generally well trained. Now, on the JAPA, which is a phenomenon that is not only limited to Nigeria, it's a global phenomenon. The northern countries don't have enough. They are asking to take more. We don't have enough. They're paying more to travel to their countries. And it's not only from Nigeria, from India, from Philippines, or from other parts of Africa. They are going to this country. So JAPA is a global phenomenon. But in our own context, I think it's important to realize that the drivers of that, some go to get training abroad with the expectation they'll come back better skilled and contribute at home. Some that have been successful are also beginning to think of how to come back if the enabling infrastructure is provided. But there are also thousands more, which is what the point I was trying to hint at, who are here and despite the opportunities to travel abroad, are not traveling abroad, and we don't appreciate them. We have to appreciate those who are here already working.
All right, that was the voice of the Minister of Health. And just imagine having a vaccination to malaria. That would be really, really incredible at this point. So kudos to the Ministry of Health and all the work that they're putting in at this point in time. Well, there was another issue of kidnap of school children in Sokoto State, and this is what Remi Tinubu had to say about it.
That once we take hold of them, they deserve capital punishment. Why are they torturing our children? What they are doing is trying to kill our future. We all know parents, when we are old, we rely on our children, and we see them that our investment has not gone to waste, especially when they are successful. Why would you go and take them from schools? Why? I don't really know. But right now, I think enough is enough. As a former lawmaker, I believe that any one of them captured deserve capital punishment. Yes. I say it, and I believe most mothers would believe that. Yes. We carry them for 9 months. When you are giving birth, you don't know whether you are going to live or die. Yes. And you don't watch what you love being snuffed away. So they are.
All right, that was the voice of Remi Tinubu making a statement talking about the fact that kidnappers deserve the capital death penalty. Well, also in a basketball situation between Senate President Godswill Akpabio and the governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara. Let's listen to what he had to say. This was at the burial of Herbert Wigwe in Rivers State. There was a little bit of back and forth between the minister,
political class,
Senate President rather.
What is all this struggle all about? You want to kill, you want to bury. What is it all about?
What is the struggle all about? I will answer you. The struggle, we are not talking politics. In 2006, I wanted to be a deputy governor. So the then deputy governor invited me and told me that this office has no money. There is nothing in it. I don't know why you still insist on moving me from here and taking over. So a woman who went with me said, Your Excellency, then don't wait for impeachment. Just resign since there is nothing in it. And he stood up and he started punching the woman. And I told him, yes, don't punch her. She's telling the truth. There is nothing in the office. That's why I want it. Because you are too big for it. So, Your Excellency, Governor Fupara, if there is nothing in the struggle, don't struggle.
You know, at this point in time, you have to realize that they were there to console, some of the children of Herbert, the late Herbert Wigwe and his wife, and the first son. And then you went there and started playing politics. Does it even make sense at this point? You just have to wonder what some of these politicians do, what they think of when, they make some of the statements that they make. Well, it is time for the front page review. We'll be checking out, cutting across different newspaper headlines, and I'll be doing that with El-Rufai Oseni in just a moment. Do stay tuned.
Bring you all the big stories and what's behind them. Politics, business, sports, news, all on VOP 96.1 FM. Now you have a voice. It's thrilling, controversial, heated, thought-provoking. Catch El-Rufai Oseni.
Came here to misrepresent the facts today as regards subsidy removal.
Kesire Aqua.
Report was that $9 billion is lost yearly to illegal mining.
And Simeon Sunday.
If you know something of this nature is happening within your community, why didn't you raise an alarm?
On the front page review, weekdays at 7:15 a.m. Now you have a voice.
Good morning to you and welcome. This is the front page review on Voice of the People 96.1 FM. My name is Kesire Agua. Good morning once again. There are lots of things that happened over the course of the weekend, but today is the 11th of March 2024. So welcome to the show. We're cutting across different headlines from Vanguard, from Punch, from the Nation, Leadership, from This Day, from Guardian as well. We'll be checking out a lot of headlines this morning as time would permit us. Trying to reach Mr. El-Rufai Oseni this morning to join the conversation. And let's check out some of these headlines together. Well, in a fresh attack yesterday, bandits abducted 15 students in Sokoto State. Bandits abduct 15 students in fresh Sokoto attack. Now, bandits have reportedly struck Gidemba Kuso in Gada local government area of Sokoto State, abducting over 15 Sagaya students with several orders currently missing. Newsmen reported that students were abducted from their school around 1 a.m. on Saturday. These students who have been abducted in Sokoto State, the proprietor of the school told journalists that the 15 students were unaccounted for so far after the early morning attack. Good morning, El-Rufai Oseni, and welcome to the show.
Morning, welcome. Yeah, I think I just have 5 minutes with you guys. Go ahead.
All right, we're seeing fresh attacks. We're seeing attacks on schools once again. Mr. El-Rufai, when we saw that before, this was sort of, try as much as we can to reach him back. I don't know what's going on with the network this morning. But when you see attacks like this, especially on school children, could it be that because these individuals are easy targets, they're children, so therefore they would, move easily, they'll do your bidding easily? At this point in time, you just have to ask some very pertinent question. There was a group that was against westernization, education as well, of the north, right? Mr. El-Rufai,
Yeah, morning. I have about 5-10 minutes.
All right, sir. Let's start with these attacks, these new attacks on school children, right? We know that because of their age, they're easy targets and all that. But when we first saw these attacks on school children, it was sort of an attack against education in the north, right? So, are we seeing something like that again, or is this just an aftermath of the hunger and starvation going on in the country?
No, it's been a trend actually, and we'd like to call on the security forces to react to that trend, because increasingly it's been a trend that started targeting children since 2014, when you had the first Boko Haram attack, Chibok girls, Dapchi girls, and all of that, Yadi and all of that. So it's been a trend, and they're soft target. But the question is, if that area had any fortification, then why didn't they have adequate responses there? The Kaduna State government has tried many things in the past to be able to stem the tide of all of this. An example, by cutting off the telecom network around that area, but it's also made matters even worse off. So how can we nip this in the bud? What's the response time of the military? I mean, these are the things we should look at, but it's not just a run of the trend. It's been a major trend where students are targeted and all of that. So we must be able to bring the students back, and that's just the most important thing the government should now focus on.
You were talking about bringing the children back. We saw what exactly happened with the Chibok girls and how long it took us to even get some of them out of there. I don't know what the hope is at this point in time.
I don't know. I mean, there was a story, but it was debunked as fake news about possibility of negotiations and all of that. But I think we must do everything possible to ensure that they bring them back. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we must do it.
The federal government right now is saying that the FCT is at risk, and 14 other schools in 14 states rather, and the FCT risk attack of abduction of pupils. This is what the federal government is saying. Well,
so
since we know this, go ahead.
Yeah. So once the government knows this, what are they going to do about it? That's the question we should ask. We must never be like the case of Chibok, that they knew that there were activities around it. See, in Kaduna, there's always been attacks on schools. It's not today. If you remember the university in Kaduna that was attacked, even the military institution and all of that, so they've always been attacked. And schools has always been the target because it amplifies the kind of media exposure these bandits and criminals want. But how can we nip it in the bud? That's what matters.
All right, let's move on to another story. This morning, yesterday rather, there was that back and forth between Godswill Akpabio, that's the Senate president, and the governor of Rivers State. What exactly is your take on that? I don't know if you saw the comment during...
I think our politicians should go and learn sensitivity. They're largely very insensitive people. They don't understand pain. My commiserations to the family of Weekly. I think I'll like to talk about the family campaign more than the insecurity of some.
Hello. Can you hear me? All right. I'm at a loss for words this morning concerning the network. We'll try as much as we can. We've made some, updates, but it seems to not be working at this point. But I'll try as much as I can to reach back with Rufai. Seeing that particular statement between Fubara and Senator Godswill Akpabio, you begin to wonder, are politicians even sensitive to the plight of others? You talk about the fact that, yes, the point of Fubara was that, we come from dust and to dust we shall return, and what's all the struggle about? But the back and forth was completely unnecessary at a point where people were in mourning, right? We should try as much as we can to be sensitive individuals, no matter what it is that we're on about. Well, efforts to reach Mr. Oseni has proved a little bit abortive. Let's take a break. I'll be back in just a moment.
We bring you all the big stories and what's behind them. Politics, business, sports, news, all on VOP 96.1 FM. Now you have a voice.
Do you like what we do? Want to see some more of us? Hop over and meet us on YouTube, Insta, and Twitter. At Voice of the People 96.1 FM. Share us on your socials. Tell everyone. Send us a message. We'd love to hear from you. Follow us at Voice of the People 96.1 FM. See ya.
Family Live, a family-friendly program focusing on raising healthy families, dads, moms, and children. Listen to Family Live with the Family Man, Reverend Simon Asemota, Saturdays at 8 a.m. Exclusive to VOP 96.1 FM. Now you have a voice.
Are you traveling to Lagos and desire a perfect getaway?
Look no further than the luxurious accommodations at Airport Golden Tulip Hotel, number 42 Murtala Mohammed International Road, Lagos.
Relax and unwind in our beautiful appointed rooms, featuring all the amenities you need for a comfortable stay.
Now, whether you are traveling for business or pleasure, our attentive staff is here to ensure that your every need is met. We also offer complimentary pickup and drop from the Lagos airport.
Why not take advantage of our state-of-the-art fitness center, outdoor pool, and enjoy a delicious meal at our on-site restaurant?
With stunning views, world-class service, and a prime location, Airport Golden Tulip Hotel is the perfect choice for your next vacation or business trip.
So why wait? Book your stay today and experience the ultimate in comfort and luxury at Airport Golden Tulip Hotel.
For bookings and reservations, please call 0815-8003-333 or 0815-7003-333. You can visit our website at airportgoldentuliphotel.com.
Airport Golden Tulip Hotel, where luxury meets comfort.
Believe me.
Today's sun is so hot though.
So what are you waiting for? Get the authentic taste of creamy cold berry ice cream. To order online from Gariki, call 090-8831-5907. Guarimpa 090-8831-5909. And Lugbe 090-8845-3416.
Enjoy authentic cold berry ice cream.
Are you aware that Iruka Online Limited installed and designed a 100,000 capacity church building? Oh yeah, we are the sole distributors of global leading brands all over the world, such as Wafday Line Array, speakers and digital amplifiers, Preseno's digital mixers and studio equipment, Coswell workstations and keyboards, Fender guitars, Mapex drums, Ashdown bass combos, just to mention but a few. We offer flexible payment plan handled by our financial department with 24/7 customer care support system. You can visit our website on www.iruka.com to avoid buying fake products. You can also visit our showroom at number 36 Lagos International Airport Road beside Golden Tulip Hotel. Iruka, never settle for less.
Voice of the People 96.1 FM. You're welcome back. This is Voice of the People 96.1 FM. My name is Gesere Agua. Well, you can join the live on YouTube, Voice of the People Abuja, Voice of the People Abuja. You can go ahead and join us live on YouTube, Voice of the People Abuja, or call into the studio 0700 010 961 961 0700 010 961 961. I'll try to reach Mr. Larry Oguego. this morning to join us live on our conversation, checking out some of the issues of kidnapping, the issue of jackpot, especially as Nigeria is losing, 16,000 doctors in 5 years. Good morning, Mr. Larry, and welcome to the show. All right. All right, we're seeing Nigeria losing 16,000 doctors in 5 years. This is according to the minister. This is due to the jackpot syndrome. Good morning, Mr. Larry, and welcome.
Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for having me.
All right, let's jump into it. We're seeing bandits kidnapping 15 more students in a fresh attack in Sokoto State. What exactly is your take on this?
I think we've reached a stage where we just have to do something. I mean, this is a kidnap too many. Because we are just reeling from the Kuriga attack in Kaduna State. And that attack in Kaduna left me wondering. I can't imagine a group of bandits taking away, from what we were told by the teacher that spoke to the governor. They surrounded the school and asked everybody to march, which means more than 700 persons were under their control. And eventually, apparently, some escaped. And then, I think 208 or thereabout were not so lucky. So this is just another Chibok. And the question becomes, what do we do? You hear stories, you hear statements like, go after them and recover the kids. You hear things like, the perpetrators of this dastardly act will not go unpunished. In fact, it's like a cracked record, a cracked CD. You get to hear exactly the same thing when these things happen. And my pain is that the perpetrators of the dastardly act most of the time are not punished, and they don't face the full wrath of the law. In fact, they don't even face the half wrath of the law. And most of the time also, the victims, we don't recover, we don't rescue. I mean, young girls came back with babies after years from Chibok disaster. So we begin to ask ourselves, how can we do better? I mean, what we are doing, whatever it is that we are doing, the effort we're making, and it's not working. It's just that simple. We shouldn't pretend about it. And if it's not working, one thing we must do is to do something else. A situation where we respond, react, go after them is not working. They have all the advantages. It's not just working, which means that somebody should sit down and ask simple questions. What can we do differently? What kind of funding are we giving to the matter of security? We had the Safe Schools Initiative. It was funded in the first 2 years, 2022, 2023. 2024, zero funding for the Safe Schools Initiative. The Kuriga school had no fence. It was an easy pick. Even if they had a fence, and you had a few security agents, if these guys came in their numbers, how do the security agents cope? And then I ask questions like, where is the place of surveillance? We have satellites in space. So when 500 or 1,000 persons move, can't we see them? If the Nigerian satellite system is not good enough, can't we partner with countries that can do these things? How can 1,000 or 500 bandits move and we don't see them? And then they surround kids and then take them away and trek a long distance, probably hop on bikes and move again, and we don't see them. We can't continue, expecting Nigerians to be patient. We can't continue talking about, they'll be brought to book. The perpetrators of this dastardly act will not go unpunished and all of that. We are tired of hearing the same thing over and over again. I think we need to sit down deliberately and intentionally and plan solutions that will work, and go into processes that will nip this thing in the bud. And it is doable. That's the truth. It's just that we are not even thinking about it. The reason we are not thinking about it enough is simple. The people who are supposed to give us the solutions are not threatened. That is the truth of the matter. They are protected. Their kids are protected. So they can afford to talk about the perpetrators being caught and punished and all that, knowing fully well that nothing will happen. Their kids are not even in Nigeria, so you can't see them to abduct. That is the problem. And they are safe. They are very, very safe because they collect all the security agents that should work for all of us, and they just appropriate these agents for themselves. And we need to begin to just make it clear that we can't continue like this. Kids can't go to school. We have the highest number of out-of-school children in the world, and it's getting worse. I mean, if I'm a parent in any of those states, I can't send my child to school. It's better the child stays at home and does whatever, or I just maybe migrate to Abuja if that's the only place my kid can go to school. And that's the problem we have here. We are encouraging rural-urban migration. We're encouraging people to just tell their kids, stay at home, don't go to anywhere. And then we are still talking about security, our funding, this, we're doing that. Do you know that our budget, see, I have to say this because somebody has to know. Somebody has to know. Our budget for defense and security actually decreased. I mean, 2023 budget was 12%. Then 2024 budget, actually 2023 budget was 13.4% or thereabout. In 2024, I think 12%. But that's not the critical issue. The critical issue is that if you look at the rate of Naira, and then you look at the decrease again in the budget, you find out that the budget was probably cut by half. Considering that most of these things are brought in dollars. I mean, we don't make even bullets. We don't make bombs. We don't make anything. So you cut the budget by 1.4% or thereabout, and then in real terms, the budget is cut by up to 50%. How are you going to fight insecurity? And then the few things that we get, you appropriate to the politically exposed persons and the wealthy businessmen. Even Chinese laborers have security men when they do road construction. A Chinese laborer has 3 or 4 mobile policemen or soldiers following him. So when we attach security men to all kinds of people, to the exclusion of the real Nigerians, how can we not have this situation? I think we need to understand what the problem is. The political elites do not understand that we have a problem because they are totally protected from the situation. That's the real problem. And we have to get to that point where we insist that we should have a common playing ground. I do not agree that all animals are equal and some are equal than others. So if you struggle and do all sorts of things and then get to the House of Reps in Abuja, you now have security, you have 160 million Naira vehicle, you get some money and buy yourself a bulletproof SUV, and then you now begin to explain to us that we should be patient, that the perpetrators should be arrested, that they will face the full wrath of the law, and then it gets worse. It's actually getting worse by the day, and we have to think it through, create deliberate solutions, and begin to implement the deliberate solutions. We can't continue like this. I shed tears, literally speaking. I was like, how can this be happening? And then we have leaders and they are just talking, no consequences. We have defense chiefs, we have Inspector General of Police, we have intelligence chieftains, we have all kinds of people who earn massive amounts of money, get federal support, get state support, and this is what we get in return. It's sad. It's very sad. It's discouraging.
Mr. Larry, at this point in time, a lot of people have been speculating that could this be the work of Boko Haram? We know we saw that play out, especially because of education, the attack against education and westernization and all that, with the Boko Haram. Some people have been asking, is this what it is once again, or this is just a situation where people are hungry and they're looking for the easiest targets, which are the school children, so to move with them quickly, as opposed to what we saw with Boko Haram?
I don't really think it's about hunger, I'll be honest with you. I don't think it's about hunger. That's my sincere opinion. And I also don't think it's about Boko Haram and Western education. We have a few things that drive kidnapping for ransom now. One is that it's one of the fastest ways to fund terrorism and to fund whatever they want to do. What I mean is, when they kidnap kids, they get ransom. That's the truth of the matter. They ask for ransom and they get it, unfortunately so. And when they kidnap kids that are vulnerable, we are more affected. We are more likely to respond. Of course, we have seen Nigerians even engage in crowdfunding to rescue kidnapped victims. So yes, it's not just about Boko Haram. It's not just about Western education being haram or being evil. It's about the fact that they want money, and they also want relevance. They want attention. They want to put fear in everybody. That is the concept of terrorism. That is, you want to compel the state to do what you want, or to give you concessions or attention, because you put people in a state of fear, in a state of terror. That's why they are terrorists. So they do things that will make you really wonder, what kind of country is this? What is happening to us? And then you keep bending. For instance, we got to a point where they were negotiating. That's terrorists were negotiating, release our commanders when the Kaduna train attack occurred. They were negotiating and naming their terms, do this, do that. And then I said that wasn't enough. They woke up one day and went and broke the prison and even released everybody and walked away. So they are getting to that point where they're even telling us that the state is not strong enough to resist them, that the state is not strong enough. When I say the state, I mean the nation. That is, it's a bad situation, but we don't understand. I don't think it's about Boko Haram, that Western education is evil. No, we have gone beyond that. It's about terrorism. It's about attention seeking. It's about money to fund the terrorism, because kidnapping for ransom is a global phenomenon now when it comes to funding terrorism. It's not exclusive to Nigeria, but because Nigerians are an easy pick, they are just picking us anyhow. It's growing in the West African sub-region, not just Nigeria, Cameroon, Ghana, wherever. Because they have realized that when you kidnap people and they don't want the person to die, they pay. So I think we should go beyond the issue of Boko Haram. The original Boko Haram was driven by ideology, religious ideology and religious zeal. No, now we have bandits, terrorists, and even businessmen who chose the wrong profession. That is the wrong business of kidnapping people for ransom. And we need to understand that the motivation is very strong. The motivation is very strong. They need the money, and they also need to put fear in us. And we need to rise up to the occasion. I don't think it's just ideologically driven now. It's beyond that. And more people are joining the kidnapping business. Of course, even people who are not Muslims are also their allies. So it's not even about just the terrorists and the big boys. There are small cells of kidnappers who do the same business for ransom. But these other guys have the capacity to do things that capture our imagination and put us in a state of trepidation. That is, they collect hundreds of young people. And you begin to ask yourself, how do you distribute and take care of 280 persons? How do you even move them? And nobody gets to stop you. That is, I don't know how it works, but it's beyond religious zeal now. And I think this is something that has taken root. It's profitable, and most importantly, you can see we're talking about them now. They are in our faces. We keep talking about them. And unfortunately, they are making the state look like they are not capable. I've warned us, we have to be careful. This is the road to Haiti. As we speak now, we don't know who is in control in Haiti. It became so bad that the hoodlums in Haiti, the cultists and all of those guys came together, and they are now attacking the state. Before, they were attacking themselves and just behaving like rascals. And we are not learning lessons from Haiti, because we have so many different cells that are terrorizing us and we can't even manage it. Have you ever sat down to wonder what will happen if they actually forge a common front and say, okay, we are going to do this in a coordinated manner? How are we going to cope? Without intelligence, without having boots on the ground, people who will fight back in a structured manner. without having modern equipment that will match their own or even surpass it. How can we cope if they ever have the temerity to come together to say, oh, let's have a common front? God forbid that they will think like that. I shouldn't even be talking about it. It's scary.
Exactly. All right, let's take a break and pay some bills. When we come back, we'll continue this conversation. We'll be looking at the president getting an airport in Minna named after him in just a moment.
VOP 96.1 FM. VOP 96.1 FM.
We have been serving you hot and fresh content on radio, and you have been loving it. Now we're taking it further. Catch us live on YouTube at BOP TV for all the juicy content you can't resist. Talk shows, exclusive interviews, news, lifestyle, and more. It's all about you. BOP TV, show up, speak up.
I'm coming in hot.
Now, you can enjoy the original taste of premium American Romeo's Pizza. Juicy, just the way you like it. To order online from Guarimpa, call 090-8831-5908. Gariki 090-8831-5906. And Lupe 090-9238-9861. Romeo's Pizza, the pizza champions.
Coming in hot, just like the beat.
Family Live, a family-friendly program focusing on raising healthy families, dads, moms, and children. Listen to Family Live with the Family Man, Reverend Simon Asemota, Saturdays at 8 a.m. Exclusive to VOP 96.1 FM. Now you have a voice.
Are you aware that Iruka Online Limited installed and designed a 100,000 capacity church building? Oh yeah, we are the sole distributors of global leading brands all over the world, such as Wafday Line Array, speakers and digital amplifiers, Preseno's digital mixers and studio equipment, Coswell workstations and keyboards, Fender guitars, Mapex drums, Ashdown bass combos, just to mention but a few. We offer flexible payment plan handled by our financial department with 24/7 customer care support system. You can visit our website on www.iruka.com to avoid buying fake products. You can also visit our showroom at number 36 Lagos International Airport Road beside Golden Tulip Hotel. Iruka, never settle for less.
Meet us on YouTube, Insta, and Twitter at Voice of the People 96.1 FM.
Welcome back. This is Frontpage Review, and we're going after other headlines this morning. We're joined earlier by Mr. Larry Ogwego. Welcome back.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, we're seeing Minna Airport getting renamed after the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and he's set to visit Niger today. Now, the Niger state government has said that the president, Bola Tinubu, will on Monday commission the remodeled Minna Airport, renamed Bola Ahmed Tinubu International Airport, in Minna, the state capital. Now, the state commissioner for Information and Strategy disclosed this to journalists on Sunday at the Government House and also revealed that the president will lay the foundation stone for the construction of a new Hajj terminal at the airport during his one-day working visit to the state. Getting an airport renamed after Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Just how important is this?
Well, that shows how far we have gone as a nation. You know, democracy is supposed to be a government of the people, for the people, and by the people. This is a government of sycophants, for sycophants, by sycophants. Everybody is just jostling to be the biggest sycophant. This is too soon now. And then this is the only country where if you become a governor, president, things are named after you just for being in a position. In fact, people even name after themselves. The one that pains me is that governors name public institutions after themselves in total disregard of international norms, in total disregard of the concept of immortalizing people who have made contributions. You don't do that yourself. You don't, I mean, you have Zik Avenue, you have Awolowo Way, you have all those. Awolowo didn't name any of those streets after himself. Nnamdi Azikiwe didn't name the international airport after himself. Most of these things were even named in appreciation by people, and some of them after their demise. I don't understand how we got to that level where people name public institutions after themselves. We need to get to that point where we begin to not only protest it, but probably find a way to stop it. It's annoying. Nigeria is the only country where we mismanage appreciation. As a matter of fact, we consistently appreciate people who do not deserve to be appreciated. And we also forget people and dump them in the dustbin that should be appreciated.
Larry,
I will tell you why.
Are you saying that the president doesn't deserve to be appreciated? And, you know, at this point in time,
he doesn't need to have an airport named after him at this time. He's less than 1 year in office. There is no justification for that. There should be a basis. Let me explain why I said this. You just hold on a minute. Okay. There is a president that I fell in love with for a few reasons. People may have their opinions, but I just wondered why the man was so different. His name is Umaru Musa Yar'Adua. When he was conferred with the normal Grand Commander of the Order of the Night, that is, the man actually did something no Nigerian head of state ever did before him, nor after him. When they conferred him with the honor, he said something. He said, I thought that people are appreciated after doing a job and not before. He said, but be that as it may, I want to take this honor as a challenge for me to do more for Nigeria. He criticized the process of conferring an honor on him just because of a title. He felt that the state should have waited, the nation should have waited. When he now delivers as a president, he will get the honor. Let me also remind you that Merkel of Germany, a woman that powered Germany through all kinds of disasters, when the world economy collapsed, this woman powered Germany so much that they were giving aid to other European nations, was honored with just the other day with what you may call the equivalent of what you do for our president before they start working. That's after many years. They found her worthy. They now apparently reviewed her leadership, looked at her and said, this one deserves to be honored. So when you go to such countries, people work hard to be honored. In Nigeria, all you have to do is to find a way to sit on a certain exalted pedestal, and then people will start naming all kinds of things after you. I don't have anything against Mr. President, but I'm saying that psychophancy is not good for leadership, and it's not good for Nigerian politics and politicians. That's just it. It's not good. This idea of naming things, you just name. For every public institution you name after a person, there should be a reason. Yes, there should be a reason. The man said we shouldn't assess him now. You listen to people who say, it's too soon to assess his performance. Am I correct? So what assessment did the governor do now to name the airport? Where did he get the parameters for honoring him? If they are telling us that it's too soon to assess him. So when we criticize, they say, no, don't assess. But when you name airport, we say, you can assess. Why? Why the double standard? If it's too soon, we should all wait now. Wait now, let him perform. Wait. Let us honor people and reward them on the basis of performance. Go and check the people who are being honored by the federal government with our national honors and awards. Go and check their pedigree. You see people of questionable character stand beside great men and women. To the extent that Achebe refused, he rejected his own award. He said no, because he just felt that, see, this thing is a charade, it's a joke. So we need to understand the place of honoring people. We need to restore the sanctity, the dignity of receiving this kind of, this place, that place. Some of the most infamous leaders we have had in this country that we are still recovering their loot. Streets are still named after them. Highways are still named after them. So what incentive do I have to tell my child to be a good person? If he asks me, so daddy, this person did this person did that, streets are named, so why should I bother with being a good person? What do I tell him?
All right.
Our leaders should be careful. They should give us. They should lead well. They should think. They should think before they act. Psychophancy is one of the worst enemies of good leadership.
All right, we're seeing fresh protests over Shuaibu's impeachment plan, and clerics are warning Obaseki against going forward with it. Hundreds of supporters of the Deputy Governor, Philip Shuaibu, took to the streets on Sunday to protest against the plan by the State House of Assembly to impeach the Deputy Governor over allegations of leaking government secrets, even though what secrets we are not really sure of. And this is the new development in the rift between Shuaibu and his principal, Obaseki. This continued fight against Philip Shuaibu at this point in time, what can be done about it?
First of all, I think it's pathetic that we are spending time, valuable time that should be dedicated to governance, to be discussing impeaching a man who will leave office in the next few months. It's not necessary. It's sad, and it shows that we don't have legislators at the state level. They are not only rubber stamps; they have become automatic stamps. They don't just think. It shows they don't have work to do, and I stand to be corrected, because they should be thinking about bills, real issues to legislate on, things to discuss, not impeaching a governor that, as we speak, they have been able to collect the ticket from him. The man has a right to his aspirations, and you want to impeach him, which means that the thing has gone to the level of vendetta, to the level of vengeance. So you want to impeach him so that he'll probably not be able to contest for elections, or he'll probably not be able to receive his benefits as a deputy governor, because for me it has become tribalized. It's now like a street brawl. It's like a quarrel. No, we should have some dignified conduct when you get to the level of becoming a governor, and I think Obaseki should do better. He at some point he earned the respect of analysts because of the way he tried to manage the issues surrounding Edo State. And when you cast your mind back, I remember that Obaseki was also a victim of godfatherism, and he fought a very bitter battle with his erstwhile boss. And this same Shuaibu was his right-hand man in fighting that battle. Shuaibu could have defected to the other side. Shuaibu could have done what Nigerian politicians can also do, but he stood by him and fought with him, and they won. I don't understand what happens to our politicians. What the least you can do for Shuaibu, if you don't want him to be governor, is to just do it decently. Bros, I don't want you to be governor. Then we go to the field, we contest, I defeat you. You leave him alone. He finishes his tenure, he goes home. I don't understand all of this. It shows that they don't have work to do. It shows that this politics thing is not about leadership. It's about personal ego. It's about power play. It's about stealing our money. It's about every wrong thing. Because if they are busy thinking about the hungry people in Edo State, thinking about how to empower the Edo youth, thinking about how to stem the tide of Edo people who are running all over to different parts of the world, they won't have time to do this. The governor should have been busy. The members of the House of Assembly should have been busy. But they are busy thinking about us to stop one man who is just trying to do something that he believes in, something that he legitimately has a right to do, contest for governorship. You have already taking the ticket. Okay, yes, I know he came to Abuja the other day and he complained that somebody took his ticket. We know all that. but at least you took it, you have it. So why don't you just let the man have some peace? I don't think I like how cheap and petty our politicians have become, because it's pettiness now. And if they go and impeach him and they don't follow due process, the man will go to court and revert it. Why are we just keeping the judiciary busy for nothing? Do you know the percentage of cases that are political cases in Nigeria? That is, every time you're going to court for frivolous reasons, you get an injunction, stop impeachment, you get another injunction, you go to... Why now? These guys should show us some respect. I think Obaseki should do better, and the members of the House of Assembly in Edo State should also stop this petty impeachment. They should go and do more important things. Please.
All right. Mr. Larry, something that is of concern at this point is the influence the governors have on the State House of Assembly. What can we even do to ensure that influence is cut? Because it's not just in Edo State. We saw it, sometime, I think it was last year or last 2 years in the West. One of the governors was also going to get impeached, as one of the deputy governors rather was also going to get impeached as well. We've seen this play out time and time again, and we see the influence of the governor on the State House of Assembly. What can we do reduce the influence? Because we know it's severely tied to money. Obviously, we know it's very, very much tied to money.
Yes, there are at least two things we must do. The first is that the Houses of Assembly should be able to get their money direct from Abuja. We tried to do that some years ago, and the governors influenced these guys to vote against a bill that was in their interest when we were doing our constitutional amendment. I was shocked at that level of dumbness. That is, some of the states refused to because, of course, Oga said you shouldn't vote that way. So they sold their liberty to the governors themselves. That's how bad it was. So we must get to that point where they have financial autonomy and financial independence. So the government doesn't decide when they get a pen, when they get stationery, when they get cars, when they get specs. The governor has a stranglehold on their finances. That's the first issue we must deal with. The second is the unusual influence of governors when it comes to primaries. We need to reform our internal democracy to enable people genuinely participate in primaries, to enable parties genuinely conduct primaries, and for the politicians and the interested candidates to compete for tickets. A situation where the governors give tickets, it makes them very powerful. They are supposedly the local leaders of the party. So what they do is that they give tickets. That's the expression we get to hear, that they gave this person tickets. And so it has nothing to do with internal democracy and the process of voting for the person who represents the party. And that is where our democracy usually starts failing. We are seeing what's happening in Edo State now. And later we blame INEC. The truth is that by the time they leave us with a Hobson's choice, that is, we have two bad candidates, so we are between a rock and a hard place. The election is already lost and won, because most of the time, when you look at the candidates these guys present before us, there are 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 bad candidates. There are elections that I've absorbed from voting for certain positions because I couldn't in clear conscience vote for any of the candidates. And I would just, decide, okay, I can't vote for this particular, maybe for this Senate or that there's nobody to vote for. It's that bad. So we must control the powers of the governors when it comes to this issue of giving tickets. And to do that is difficult because it means we have to reinvent our democracy to the extent that we have to look at how the parties function and then ensure that we have internal democracy. As long as we don't have internal democracy in our political parties, this issue of elections going to court to be decided afresh must continue. Because there are at least 2 sources of elections going to court. The first one is that people disagree, say, oh, I won the primary, so he's not the right candidate. The second source is, he didn't win the election in the first place. When we have internal democracy and people are thrown up and there's transparency, the political parties will even have the moral grounds to hold INEC responsible, and they will also be able to help INEC conduct every election. But a situation where the political parties cheat in their own internal democratic processes, they cheat openly. brazen cheating. They give people tickets. Then you notice that they will also cheat in the elections. They help candidates to rig elections. So it means that there's a contest of rigging. So the person who outrigs apparently wins. So even when you are saying, oh, they rigged the election, people who are discerning will be laughing. People like me, I'll be laughing. You know why? Because you rigged, he rigged, she rigged, and then the person outrigged you. Your complaint sounds hollow to me. You know, so we need to get to that point where our political players and the people understand democracy. Democracy starts from internal party democracy, then it goes to the bigger space. So we must curtail the powers of governors in this area of giving tickets. They must remove their power to control the resources of the legislators in their states. There was a governor in the southeast, I remember, some time ago, even in Anambra State, that refused to give a certain member of the House of Assembly his official car. Everybody was given a car. For months, this young man wasn't giving his own car because he was perceived as not being compliant or loyal to the governor. And others learned, in quotes, from that experience, oh, this is what happens to legislators who don't comply or who criticize policies of the government on the floor or who. So we need to rise above that, and we must curtail the powers of the governors in giving tickets and in financing the House of Assembly if we want to deal with that problem.
All right, in about 3 minutes, let's get your thoughts on this issue of budget padding. A particular senator, Abdul Ningi, said he's from Bauchi State, and he talked about the fact that the executive is implementing a budget that is different from the one that was approved in January 1st. He talked about the fact that they had signed a 25 trillion naira budget into law, and what they're seeing is 28.7 trillion naira that is currently being implemented, and they're trying to find out where the 3 trillion naira is coming from.
But you know, even the Senate that is part of is actually questioning his own position and assertions. I don't know where he got his information from. One of the things we must also do is to be serious about the allegations we make. And we should get to that point where if the senator says this is what is happening, I think we should ask, how do you know? Can we get some evidence? There are two ways to look at this thing. I think it's important that we won't talk about it. The first is that we can say, oh, he's making spurious allegations, but he may have seen something we didn't see, in which case we should tell him, tell us how you got to this point. If at the end of the day he's not able to defend his position, then maybe the disciplinary actions and sanctions can follow. But if he's able to prove how he got to that point, then he should be rewarded as a good representative of his people. I think the matter is still unfolding. The Senate, they're going to look into the matter. And it also makes me wonder. I don't want to preempt what the Senate will do, but I'm wondering, maybe they should have even tried to find out where he's coming from. Where did you get the information? But maybe that's what they also want to find out before they decide whether to sanction him or not. But we are watching. The most important thing is that this issue of budget padding is something that is a recurring decimal, in the sense that, we always have issues of taking the executive, taking the budget to the National Assembly, and they increase it. So I understand his fears, because they are used to increasing our budget. That is, whoever can increase should increase. So maybe he has seen things we have not seen. Let's watch and see if we'll get information that will confirm that his suspicions are true. If not, then he may have to explain a lot of things to his colleagues, because some people are definitely not happy with him. This National Assembly, the present National Assembly we have, they are not supposed to be having oversight functions on the executive. They are supposed to be assistants to the executive, so they have to be careful. Some of them that are still making statements to be noticed to the public, they have to be careful, because they are in a National Assembly that is assisting the president. That's what they even told us. They have to assist him succeed. So because they're assisting, you have to be careful what you say, because if not, they may bench you for some time so that you don't disturb their assistance program. Let's watch and see.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Larry Oguego, for joining us this morning.
Yeah, and thanks for being the voice of the people.
I just remembered. Ramadan is starting today. What exactly is your message to our Muslim brothers and sisters?
Sorry, you said Ramadan is starting today.
Yes.
Oh, yes, that is. Yes, we are very religious people without being spiritual. I think one of the things we must do is that we must take our religious and spiritual dispositions more seriously. Ramadan is a very, very solemn period, and considering that it also overlaps with the Lenten period of the Christian movement, then you begin to ask yourself, what are we going to do differently as a people? It's a moment of sober reflection for the nation. It's a moment we should begin to, I don't want to say pray, because we have been praying all the time, but I think this time we should it's a time to discipline ourselves and do the right thing that will help even attract the attention of this God we have been praying to, but most importantly, help ourselves. God is tired of helping us. I'm suspecting that God is worried about Nigeria. The Lenten period and the Ramadan period is a good period, especially to be our brother's keeper beyond handouts. Beyond handouts. I understand what I'm saying now. Beyond handouts. Beyond handouts. You don't go and take the money that should give me a school, and then after that you give me scholarship. You don't take my salary that I used to pay school fees for my son, then after that you give my son scholarship. Give me my money first. Give me, that is the greatest gift you can give me. Give me my capacity to fish. Give me my money. Give me my hospitals. Give me my roads. Give me those things that I deserve, that the state has budgeted for. Don't steal my future. Don't steal my destiny. After you have done all that for me, and I'm still not able to take care of myself, you can help me. That's how charity works in normal countries. But the situation where you steal my loaf of bread, and then from the loaf of bread, you give me one slice of bread, that is not fair to me. This is a period for our politicians who are Muslims to begin to meditate on this issue of giving charity to people that they stole their charity. It doesn't work that way. This is a period that Christians, the Catholics who are in the Lenten period, should also begin to ask questions. Should I really consider this thing charitable? When I have a contract to do, I refuse to do the contract, I steal the money, then I share 5% of the money and I say it's charity. Sometimes I wonder how God will be looking at Nigeria and Nigerians. But this Ramadan and this Lenten period gives us another opportunity to reflect on our spiritual walk, not religious walk, our spiritual walk, and actually make proper choices. Give us what we need first. Give us what is our right first before you say you are giving us handouts. For me, that is what you should be aspiring to do. Stop just giving arms all over the place. Give the people empowerment first. When you finish with empowerment, you can now give them arms if they decide not to succeed. That's my thought for Ramadan and for Lent.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Larry, and have yourself a wonderful week ahead.
Yeah, you too. I hope that we're going to be on throughout this week. Do have a wonderful week.
All right. Okay, thank you so much for listening to Front Page Review on Voice of the People 96.1 FM. Let's do this again tomorrow, 7:15 sharp on VOP 96.1 FM. My name is Gesere Agua. Good morning.
We bring you all the big stories and what's behind.